First, the host of your podcast tonight of Relatively Sane. Guys, put your hands together for Jessica Curson. And put your hands together for our guest of the night, Joe DeRosa. Thank you so much, Tracy. It's so quiet. Give Tracy a hand. I love that you're adjusting your shirt so much. Are you insecure?
Very.
Okay.
And I have tits.
I know. I feel very insecure right now.
I have tits and a gut.
You do have tits.
Yeah. And I'm wearing a T-shirt here.
Under your shirt?
Under it. That's too small for me.
The T-shirt's too small?
Yeah, and it's very tight, and it's a very...
That's horrible.
It has a very deep V.
Right.
And it's holding everything in, and I tuck it in, but it looks like I'm wearing a leotard. And it's got Dolly Parton's face on it. I'm dead serious.
You don't have to wear Spanx, though. That's the worst.
This is the same thing.
I couldn't even breathe at my wedding. I was like, I do. I was so fucking sucked in.
Do they make them for men, Spanx?
Yes, I think they do. Do you guys know they do? This guy knows. He's gay. I'm joking. He's not. I don't think he is. No, they're holding hands, and you're a woman. Actually, who knows now what the fuck anyone is? Maybe you're both women, and you're just, I don't know. I'm very confused at what's going on. This is Joe DeRosa, everyone. I never even introduced him.
Hi, thank you for having me.
I'm so glad you're here, because some guests, I'm like, whatever. I'm just having them because they're interesting. Thank you, Adele. We just got served tea, which is
Thank you.
So pathetic. I mean, when I first started, it would be like whiskey, a joint. Now I'm drinking tea.
Go ahead.
I have tea. This is so Jewish. I have tea, coffee, water, and I just took my antidepressants. In the car. I fished through them on the LIE.
I know, there should be cookies up here.
Like macaroons.
Yeah. Like the cookies nobody wants.
Yeah. Do you like those rainbow cookies?
What is that?
Like they look like rainbows.
I don't
They're
know
different colors and they're covered in chocolate. Do you guys clap if you like the rainbow? Yeah, they're Jewish or they're very New York.
Is that where it's like shaped like a leaf, but one's red, one's green, one's yellow?
No, I understand why you mistook. Is that a word?
Mistook? Yeah.
Mistook. That's very mistook.
Yeah.
They're similar to those. It's one cookie with different colors. It's a gay cookie. It's a gookie.
A cookie.
It's the audience response isn't going to sound like a lot because there's 11 people here. So we have to bump up the volume of the add some. I've never added tracks, but we're gonna have to add tracks to this one.
What? Wait. I don't. Are they really gay cookies? Or are you just saying
no,
that because
they're not
rainbows?
gay. They're served at every shiva I've ever been to. They're. I'll get you some.
Which one is Shiva again?
What?
Which holiday is Shiva? Is that
it's
when
not
somebody?
A holiday.
That's when somebody dies, right?
It's not like Rosh Hashanah. I can't wait for Shiva. It's not. I don't go to temple on Shiva. No, Shiva is when someone dies.
Okay, yeah.
You go and pretend like you cared about them, and you face fuck because it's free food. Actually, my grandmother used to bring Tupperware to a Shiva. How embarrassing is that? It's not. You don't take food home. It's a big Jewish thing is to send food to someone. That's the big thing. Like if God forbid my mom's friend died, my mom would send food to the house.
Yeah.
So they don't have to worry about dinner.
That's very Italian too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, she shouldn't have to worry. Bring something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then it all ends and the person's alone and they have to cook for themselves.
Right.
It just goes all downhill.
Right. Well, it's always funny, like at an Italian funeral or wake, which I've been to many of. Like everybody's supposed to be mourning, and you're just walking around with like a pig plate of food, just shoving it in your face.
Because it's free.
There's like potato salad sliding into hot roast beef.
Yeah, it's great.
It looks
and
like you're at a
we have
picnic.
the lox. It's very. Everyone has horrible breath because there's a lot of lox and whitefish and red onions, and the Jews go nuts for that stuff.
Yeah.
So they just talk like, I'm so sorry to hear about Norman. And there's like cream cheese flying at you. It's fucking insane. It's real. We've had a lot of Shivas in the past couple of years, my family. So it's been a lot of that.
We don't have a name for it. We've had a lot of death in my family, but
who's died? I love the way I just asked that.
Okay. In the last in under 10 years.
Yeah, because you may have beat me, but I'm not sure.
In under 10 years, my Nana, my granddad, my Uncle Tony, who was only 60, my Uncle John, who was only 60, my Aunt
boy.
Sammy, his wife, who was only 60, my Aunt Enika, who was only 60.
Enika?
Yeah.
Is she a strain of pot? And who else?
My nephew.
What?
From drugs. He was 21.
He OD'd.
My cousin Teresa, she was 40.
What happened to her?
She was...
I guess
I don't
you
mean
didn't
to
like
laugh.
her?
I'm not laughing at her. She was mentally... We used to say mentally retarded.
Well, you can say that on this podcast,
She was
even
severely...
though I'm a Democrat.
She was
I
only
do
supposed to
say that
live till
word.
like 10, and she lived till she was like 42. She couldn't do anything for herself.
So it was a good thing that she lived that long.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Oh.
But it was like crazy. My uncle
Right.
used to joke, she's going to outlive all of us.
Right,
You know,
I get
like,
it.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
people, you have to joke about stuff
I wasn't
like
laughing
that.
at her. I was laughing as I was going to say retarded, and people get all, you know.
Well, I don't care what people think. I'm not going to be silenced. I say
Neither-
that all the time. I
neither
mean, this
do
is a
I.
horrific fucking
I know.
business.
Now let's discuss the blacks. No, I'm
Okay.
kidding.
They love chicken. Blacks love chicken. And so do Jews, because people who've had a lot of loss like poultry. That's really true. It seems like.
Can I read one of our... This is what I love about you.
Yeah, we have so much to talk. You just talked about like a 20-year-old dying, and now you're going to read these texts. But it's okay. This is how this podcast is. It's fucking crazy.
But what I cherish about our friendship is I can write you anything at any time. And
Literally out of nowhere, he'll just text me these things. Listen to this text.
so this is a text
It's very politically
exchange.
correct.
I texted this to Jessica the other day. It was a Saturday.
I don't even remember it. That's how crazy. I have no idea what it was.
So we hadn't texted in weeks, and then I just texted out of the blue, I just fucked a pile of meatballs. And you wrote, can my daughter eat them now? And I wrote, when...
That's so funny, but again, it's 11 people. Like,
yeah.
that was a good
Yeah.
one, guys. You got to make it hardy because I am mentally ill. So you got to be like, even fake it. Just fake.
And then I wrote, well, when I came, they all rolled away.
Then what did I write?
And then you wrote, then just send me the cum. And I wrote, okay, it has red in it. I'm not sure if
Isn't
that's
this
from
brilliant?
the sauce or if it's blood. And you wrote, hopefully it's blood.
Yeah, that was when I was at the doctor with one of the babies. I swear to God. The doctor was like, Madison needs a nebulizer. And I'm like, hold on, I have to text something. And then I texted, hopefully it's blood. Do you have any other ones? Because some are real. That was bad, but they're even worse, believe it or not. I erase all my text. This is something no one knows about me. I mean, who gives a shit? But I erase all my texts because I have anxiety. So if I see 500 texts, I'll have a nervous breakdown. So I only have like 2 texts on here. One of them's from Bill Burr. I want to give you a special. Like some of them I'll save because I'm so desperate in this business. Are you reading another one?
Okay. I wrote...
Take your time.
I
It's
wrote-
a podcast. Take your time.
Well, hold on.
Everyone, if you want to nap now while Joe is looking for the texts.
I wrote to you, everyone is a pig.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
And you wrote, calling you back soon. And I said, okay, I'm going to fist myself in the meantime. And then you wrote, And then,
I used to be able to receive that
and then I wrote, yeah.
before the marriage. I'm not kidding. I really was very into it, but now I couldn't even fit
never
a
done
fucking...
that.
Really? Well, why
No.
when you're in your ass?
No, to another person,
Oh,
Jessica.
I thought you meant a fist in your ass. I'm like,
Jesus.
well, gay men do it.
All
They
right.
sell those arms.
I've seen them. Do you want me to read the rest of this one?
Yes.
Okay. After you wrote, I wrote, I just broke a nail. And you wrote, save it for me. And I wrote, I ate it. It's a lot of food.
Yeah, it's always about food.
And then you wrote, jerk. That's the end of that one. Oh, wait.
yeah.
And then you wrote back days later, I'll throw up my wings from that night. Oh, you were eating hot wings. I said I couldn't make it to Marina's birthday party, and they were going to have hot wings. You were asking me if I was going to be there. And you wrote, I'll throw up the wings I ate that night and save it in a container and leave it under a heat lamp. Love you. And
What is wrong with
I
me?
know. I said,
Leave it under a heat lamp. I don't even remember saying that.
can you piss in it too? It would mean a lot to me. And then you wrote, yes, because I care about you so much, I'll also smear my baby's diarrhea all over it. And then I wrote, that's too much.
This is so sick. I don't hear my baby's diarrhea. I think when I'm like half out of it at night, I just send these things because I'm so depressed.
Hold on.
He just read it one that's even better. What's better than smear my baby's diarrhea?
You were mad that I said that's too much. You go, I don't know why you're dissing my children. And I go, I'm not. I can't eat all that. I had my stomach stapled. And you wrote, do you have the staples? And I wrote, I ate them. And you wrote, fuck.
Yeah, life is hard. You know, it really is. This is the kind of shit that a lot of people don't do because they're so politically correct.
Well, they're terrified that somebody's going to. I love when like a guy that works at like, my friend's like a teacher, but he's just like a public school teacher.
Yeah, I love that you're downplaying that he's a teacher, but in a public school, so fuck him.
But here's the thing.
That's harder.
But none of my friends, he's a great guy. He's done nothing wrong. None of my friends at home have jobs in the spotlight, is my point.
Like you.
And and not that I don't care, but we found pictures from when we were in college doing all sorts of shit to each other's dicks. And we took pictures of it because we thought it was funny.
Like what? Like smiley faces?
Like one guy's holding one of our dicks with two drumsticks, and the other guy's like got his tongue up against it. It's just shit we did
so
drunk because it was so funny.
There's no part of you that wanted to suck it?
No, honestly, no.
Okay.
The dicks are as limp as they could ever be. Like nobody's aroused.
Oh, so they're like, what does that mean? They're folded over?
They're just tiny and limp. Like they're not. There's no erection in any of them.
Did any of them have an erection?
No.
Okay.
We were
Could
just
you imagine if
shit-faced.
someone did?
Huh?
Could you imagine if someone did?
I wouldn't have been offended. I just would have been like, I'm not going to suck on that.
I'm not going to suck on that. Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
I would've
Where
been
did it all
hurt.
start? I mean,
With what?
With your childhood. You were
Where did my childhood start?
Yeah, well, I mean, not where did it start, like not what town, but where did all of this start? All of this sadness and anxiety and all of this? Because really, we all have it.
Yeah.
You know, most comics have it. I mean, do you ever meet comics who are like, no, I'm really okay?
I won't talk to them.
I'm either. I fucking hate that so much.
I won't talk to them. I'm like, fuck you. Go host a show on the E! Network and get the fuck out of my face. You're not a comic. You're
right.
Look, and here's the thing. That's not to say I hate you if you're a stable human being. That's fine. But somebody that gets into this, specifically stand-up, who really wants to do stand-up. Right. I don't mean just like, oh, that looks fun or whatever. Somebody that has a burning, like, I really want to do stand-up. You don't come from a rational place with that.
No.
It never comes from a rational place.
In the beginning, you might. But then once you get into it, you see how horrible it is. And sad and rejecting.
But even the thing that drives you to do it, even if it's as innocent as I want to make people laugh, like Jerry Lewis, okay, for example. He's the
women
comics, he's the best example I can think of one of those comics that's just like, I just love to make people laugh. You know what I mean? He was so fucked up in his head. Even that guy was fucked. Even a guy like Richard Jeni, who seemed very like household friendly, was fucked up. And so anybody that comes along that's saying I'm happy, I'm like, either A, you're not in this for the right reasons, or B, you're lying to me right now, and I don't trust you.
Some of them aren't aware. Yeah, they're just not even aware enough that they're so damaged.
I mean, to answer your question, I came from a very anxious household, a very loud household. I mean, it's funny, I guess, but it's not funny. It's sad. But my mom and I fight all the time.
Still?
And we're very. I'm adopted, first of all, so she couldn't have kids. So she looks at me as the universe. She sees me as, and they're religious. She sees me as literally a miracle from God, that because she couldn't have children and she got a child. Mm-hmm. And the way it happened, shortly, was they were on two lists to adopt, a Catholic one and then a secular one. And the Catholic one called them and said, you have to take your name off of any secular lists because you have to believe the Lord will provide to stay on our list. And my parents lied and said, okay, and then they didn't do it. And the next day they got a call from the secular list that I was ready for them to adopt me.
Wow.
So my mom literally thinks like it was a miracle. God sent us a gift. So she was very smothering.
Were you the only child?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And Italian.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
raised Italian, and I'm not
Yeah.
Italian, so it's like there's a lot of shit there. And she was very protective of me. I'm actually Egyptian by blood. I'm Arab, and my
Oh,
mom.
I wouldn't have booked you.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's disgusting. I say on stage, I don't have a drop of decent white blood in my veins.
Okay, so this is very interesting.
So,
It's a lot of pressure.
a lot of
It
pressure.
is.
And when I was 12 years, I didn't know I was Egyptian until I was 12.
Wow.
I knew I was adopted my whole life. My mom never hid that from me, but she never told me I was Egyptian out of protection. She's trying to do the right thing.
Right.
And she told me when I was 12 that I was Egyptian. And then because we lived in a very Roman, Irish Catholic neighborhood where everybody was white, there was no diversity, everybody worshiped the same God, went to the same church. There was one bar, there was one restaurant, very small population. She was like, don't tell anybody, because she was afraid that something would happen to me. She was afraid like some sort of
It's
hateful
real.
thing. Yeah. So I know she was trying to do the right thing. I don't resent her for it. But all of that builds up, and a lot of these tensions and things start to build. So we fight to this day all the time. And we had a moment this Christmas. We were just fucking, because I worry about her the way she worries about me with her health and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I get very mad at her when she's not doing what she's supposed to be doing per her doctors or whatever. And I lose my fucking mind. I scream. It's insane. And she'll scream back at me, and it gets crazy. And this Christmas, I said to her, I love you very much, and I'm sorry that we do this. And she goes, it's just what we do. And it was like, Jesus, like, she's 72. Like, we just kind of accepted, like, this is just, it ain't getting any better.
Well,
We're way
she's
past
probably
the
not gonna work on
halfway
it and go
point.
to
Yeah.
therapy and-
We went to therapy together for
You
a
did?
while. Yeah.
Did it help?
While we were there, in that period, it helped. But then it fades away.
Yeah,
you
of
can't,
course. You have to keep working on
yeah.
it.
But
and
in that
what about
period,
with your
it helped.
dad?
My dad is, he's a great guy. My mom's a great woman, too, but we fight. My dad and I don't fight as much. My dad and I don't fight. I'll get mad at him because he's, like, blockheaded sometimes because
Yeah.
he's just an old guy, you know? But he's always there. He does everything for everybody all the time. He's the most selfless person I've ever met. But he's also very quiet, and he's not going to engage anymore. He's past the age of, he's just like,
That's what
I
happens
don't
when
do
you
this.
get older. It's
Yeah.
just, I used to scream and yell a lot
Yeah.
in relationships. I'm not abusive, but I used to get crazy. I remember like pounding the bed, just so frustrated. And now I just don't I'm too tired to like
Yeah.
scream and yell. I go very inward and get very quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah. But do
Yeah.
you feel like that the relationship with your mother has, like, when you have relationships with women, does that come out in your relationships with women? Or do you feel like you're different?
I've never had a real relationship with a woman.
Really?
I've been a perpetual I've dated a lot of women.
You've been with a lot of hot women. I mean, I've seen you with hot women.
I feel very lucky with the way I look and my posture that the women.
I can't.
I
take
ate
it.
lunch. I ate lunch with Paul today. Paul, the owner here, and I had
Yeah.
lunch. And I go, I got to start working out. And he goes, yeah, me too. And I go, but I don't want to. These women, they're animals. They'll fuck me.
Yeah, if you're getting fucked, what's the point? Like, if you're getting laid a lot, why would you even go to the gym?
Yeah, it's just like I said on a special once. I was like, ladies, please stop having sex with me. I have
That's
to get into shape.
hysterical.
And I'm joking, of course. I don't think they're. It was just a funny thing to say in the moment, but it's just like I look at the women that are interested in me, and I'm always like, my God, like I don't know what brick fell off a roof and hit you in the head where you think it's like
felt
the
like that,
reverse of
too.
Amy Schumer's movie. They
yeah.
think I'm pretty.
That's hysterical. I really relate to that because
Yeah.
there's been times when women have been attracted to me. I'm like, why is she attracted? And then that's sad. You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
it's
'Cause to me,
terrible
you're so
self-esteem.
attractive, and I love you, and you're so charismatic. So I get what you're saying, why you say it, but
And I think the same about you. You're like
Thank you.
one of the funniest human beings I've ever known. Literally, I'm not just
Thank
saying
you.
that. You have so much good in you. So for you to sit there and go, why would somebody want to be with me? It's like, of course they want to be with you. You're a ball of light.
Thank you. But it is from childhood. Oh my God, that's so
Yeah.
11 people are
By the way-
clapping. That's very sweet.
Do you like how when I said it about you, they clapped, and when I said it about me, they're like, you are a pig. We're not going to clap.
You do have horrible posture.
It's terrible.
No, but I
It's
like we
terrible.
were somewhere. Was it Moon Tower? You were with some hot girl. I was like, whoa. I
That's
think
a-
that's
yeah,
where I don't
that's-
know. We've been a
she's-
couple
I remember
of
that. I
places
remember you pulling me
where I
aside and
was
saying,
like,
"Wow,
and you're like,
she's
yeah, I'm just hanging out. I hang out with her sometime.
she's a really good friend."
Who cares? Do you I just want to hear about the sex. I don't care about if
Well, I
she's
don't wanna
nice or
be,
not.
you know, but
I
yeah,
know. I
I
understand.
try to be respectful,
She's not
but-
listening.
But no, I've never. My longest relationship ever was 8 months total, and 4 months of that was not exclusive.
Wow.
And when I tell you, I dated till the fucking second I wasn't allowed to date other women. To the fucking second.
Do you think that you use, just be honest, do you
Yeah.
think you use being with women or sex to not deal with emotion? Like, I love that you're laughing. That's a yes. I was in that place many times in my life where I had to be like, I had to have a lot of attention from women. Like, I had to have 5 people interested in me. And it's very hard. Like, I haven't been like that in a very long time, but I get it. Because it made me feel good that all
Right.
these women were attracted to me. And
I don't get off on, like, I'm 42 now. I don't get off on the adoration, like, anymore. There was definitely a time, especially when I was younger in comedy, because comedy was the thing that opened a door for me to date.
Yeah.
It's the thing that made me attractive to women and gave me confidence. And at that time, it was fun to have different women seemingly interested in whatever. But it's been a long time since I enjoyed that. Like, I will hook up with one person at a time, but it just never gets serious. And I don't know if that's, I said to a woman I went out with recently, I say it on the first date at this point. I'm not misleading. I don't mislead anybody. But on the first date, she was like, what do you, what's your deal? Do you ever want to see yourself married? I was like, no, I'm 42. I just don't think it's for me. I think I would have done it by now.
I think that
I don't
that's
know.
okay.
That's
I don't
fine.
think I know that's okay. It's a choice. I feel like so many people do it just to do it because they're supposed to.
Right.
And they don't really think about it. And it's a fucking huge commitment. I mean, it's a lot. And it's a lot. How many of you have kids? Does anyone have kids? Clap if you have. It's a lot, right? It really, you never come first again. That's over.
Many of my married male friends, and I've had female friends say similar things, but I'm closer with more married men than I am with married women. And and these are guys I knew when they were single, and we would talk about all this stuff, loneliness and depression and how hard that is. And I get lonely, man. I get really lonely sometimes. And I've had multiple guy friends call me now that they're married with kids and say, listen, I know you get lonely, and I know you get into a dark place, but it's better on that side.
I know you
Yeah.
get suicidal, but it's better than being married.
And they'll say, I love my wife. I would never leave her. I love my kid. I'll do anything for them.
Yeah.
But I'm just telling you, this is much worse. I don't know why. I've never been able to get out of them why, though. I go, why? And I think that's probably too personal. They probably don't want to tell
I
me
think
stuff.
for everyone it's different reasons.
But they just say it's so fucking hard. And they're like, dude,
It's hard with what we do. That's for sure.
I can't even imagine.
It's not easy. Like, I'm home and then I'm away. Like, I have all these gigs coming up where I have to go away for the weekend, and I'm in a hotel by myself, and then I come home and I'm in a house with kids, and it's really hard to have that balance.
I don't know how you guys do it, because I'll see guys, Jesus Christ, I was at a festival once with the Sklar brothers.
Yeah, I love them.
They're the best. And we were hanging out and drinking at the closing party on Saturday night, and it was like 2 a.m. And they're like, I was like, so what are you doing tomorrow? They're like, what am I doing? First flight out. I land at 9 a.m. and it's hit the ground running with the kids. I was like, I don't even understand how that's humanly possible,
It's
dude.
very hard.
I can't. It's too much. I couldn't. I guess I could do it if I was thrust into it, but I don't know.
I think if you met the right person, you wouldn't overthink it so much. I really
Right.
do.
Right.
I don't know. Like, you might meet someone and just go, maybe that's the person. But also sounds like, you have this stuff with your mom. Like, that's very complicated.
Well,
You know,
yeah. and
I feel like if you were in a serious relationship, that would get complicated with your mom.
I have there's abandonment issues from adoption that cycle out often as extreme jealousy and stuff like that. There's financial stuff from my parents growing up struggling, and I kind of had this breakthrough recently with a therapist where I was like, oh, maybe that's why I don't want to have kids, because I can't financially help them the way my parents couldn't help me.
Right.
And I know how stressful that is, and I see other people getting help from their family, and it makes me furious. And so it's that. I don't date older women. I'll date women of my own age, but I don't date older women, but meaning in their 60s, but I have a definite fetish for that.
You do?
With porn and stuff. Oh yeah.
So you put in 60-year-olds?
I'll type in hot 65-year-old.
65.
Yeah.
Not 64. Okay.
I've typed in hot 70 before.
What?
Yeah.
You would die from my mother. My mother's stunning. I brought her to the cellar, and people
Can
were
she
like,
still have children? It might be
Yes.
perfect.
yeah. It might end up like your cousin, but she can have children. Yeah, your cousin with one arm, but she can. But she's really pretty, and she takes care of herself. And Jeff Ross danced with her at the cellar. Everyone's like, your mother's hot. I'm like, stay away. Did you just hear my voice? I sounded like a fat kid. Stay away.
Yeah, like my dream, sexual.
Yeah, what's your dream? What's your biggest fantasy?
Jane, what's her face? Dr. Quinn, medicine woman. Who was that? Jane. Jane Seymour. Yeah, she was on the new season of the Kaminsky Method, that new Michael Douglas show.
Yeah.
And she dates Alan Arkin in the second season, and I was like, holy shit.
What would you want to do with her, this elderly woman?
Fuck her.
But I mean, how do you see it? Let's get personal, because I'm horny. How would you bang her? I love it.
The way I'd bang anybody. It wouldn't be different. I wouldn't
Well, I mean, from behind, would you want her on top?
Yeah, every which way. I would do I wouldn't do anything, I wouldn't do anything weird because she was older.
She might not be able to blow you if she has dentures or
You know what?
indigestion.
I'm too old for it anymore.
You
I
don't
give a
like
shit.
blowjobs? I love them.
Most people don't do them right, so I don't care anymore. Hand
Really?
job, 9 times out of 10, a good hand job will feel better.
Oh, that's so interesting.
With lube, it'll feel better.
Lube?
Spit has no match against Vaseline. It just doesn't feel anywhere near as good.
Oh my God, I'm learning so much. So you take out Vaseline when you hook up with someone?
If a girl's intent on giving me a hand job, I'm like, can we use some? And they're like, yeah, of course. You don't want it to hurt you.
Is that common now, or is it just me? I mean, when I think of Vaseline, I feel like my father. There was always a Vaseline by the bed with 2 finger, from digging and a pubic hair.
Yeah.
I'm really grossed out by that.
Well,
And then his toupee and tape.
I'll use
so
anything.
traumatized
Lubriderm,
right now. Lubriderm?
Yeah, some sort of
Yeah.
moisturizing,
Right.
what
Okay.
else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not shea butter, or you don't.
No,
use
that'd be great.
Yeah.
Baby oil is great. Baby
Yeah.
oil is the best, but if you spill it, it stains because it's oil,
Yeah.
and it will spill. But
Now I keep thinking of you with an old woman. I've never had a fetish to be with an older person.
what's your fetish then? But I mean, you have one. You must have one.
I don't know. I don't know what my fetish is. I'm trying to think. I used to be into I used to watch gay men. That was a big thing, and then it totally went away.
Right.
I think when I started doing gay cruises and seeing what they do on the sex deck, I was like, I can't do this anymore.
They have a sex deck?
Yeah, they have a deck where they fool around. It's fucking amazing. I talk about it on stage because they march around like March of the Penguins. They just go in huddles and they jerk each other off. It's really hot because it's just so raw. They're like, come on, Jay, yeah, daddy. You know what I mean? And I went to watch it.
The penguins are just completely white because they're covered in cum.
They're covered in cum.
There's no black.
Well, there's always an issue with the cruise line. They're I'll hear on the loudspeaker, we're asking that everyone stop meeting on deck 11 because the crew should not have to see that. I mean, can you imagine these people in the crew? They're from the Philippines or whatever, and they're just watching these men. They walk around naked. It's real. Because I say it in my act, but if lesbians had a sex deck, they would just be crying and doing a drum circle. It wouldn't be this hot thing. It would be very depressing.
Dudes are dudes. I have a joke. I have a joke in my act about how joyous a gay bar is.
Yeah.
I go, it's beyond a party. It's unbridled elation. I've never seen a celebration
amazing.
of the soul like this. And I go, you know why? No women. That's what it is. It's just a bunch of It's just dudes left alone to have a great time. Nobody's
Yeah.
being like, do you need another hit of Molly now? They're just like, fuck it.
I
Like,
don't appreciate you doing Molly
yeah.
tonight.
You have to have sex in the bathroom.
Yeah, you don't think I'm hot.
I used to go to gay clubs, like, and just like snort drugs.
Would you do that over the mic and that's what they would dance to?
Yeah,
There
I
was
can
no
do it really low.
music?
I do that all the time with my kids, and they shake their heinies.
Oh,
My life is pathetic. It is so fucking pathetic what my life has turned into.
it's
Anyway,
not pathetic. Come on.
It is. I mean, the fact that in my kitchen I'm constantly going, and then like Isabella will shake her hiney, and that makes my whole day. It's actually sweet.
That's very sweet.
Yeah, I've been eating so many carbs.
Yeah?
So I feel really bloated and disgusting.
You're fine.
But you're on keto, so
Why
you feel good.
I've done it before. This time I'm only on 2 days at this point, so I don't know if it's even taken effect yet.
Are you hungry? Taken effect.
Well, you got to go into like ketosis. It takes a minute.
What?
See, that's what it is.
So you have to basically go into a coma to lose weight?
No, it sounds worse than it is. No, ketosis just means your body starts burning fat for energy instead of carbs.
What made you want to do that?
Because I'm a fucking animal, and when I would go on like the paleo diet, for instance, you couldn't have cheese, and they tell you don't eat salami
Yeah,
and
it's
like
not gonna
sausage
work.
and shit. Keto was like eat all the. Keto literally is like go get Burger King, just take it off of the bun. And I was like, okay,
I'm
oh,
going
that's
on
fucking
keto.
great.
I'm going to start publicly going on something so that I have to be accountable, I decided.
On
So I'm going to
ke-
put up videos, and I'm going to put it out there, because if I do that, I will have to do it.
When I'm fully into keto, like ketosis, I've literally
Sounds
walked.
so crazy.
I know. I've literally walked through the city eating a cheesesteak out of a bowl as I walk, and
Yeah,
I
I've
feel
done stuff.
fucking great.
This
You-
sounds amazing.
Yeah, you eat it and you're like, oh, that's the energy I needed. All right, you're never tired after you eat, and you eat like I go to the deli, you get like prosciutto and salami and shit.
Can you eat whatever you want, or do you have
It's fat heavy. You have to actually eat less vegetables. It's a crazy diet. Seriously, they're like, don't
like
eat too much
vegetables,
broccoli.
though.
It's too many carbs.
What about cucumber?
Cucumber's probably fine because it's a lot of water, but it's
I love cucumber. This is a fascinating podcast, by the way.
yeah.
But
It's
I'm talking
leafy.
about cucumber.
Stick to leafy greens and good fat foods. You can't eat don't eat chicken fingers. But I have recipes for keto-friendly fried chicken.
Yeah, see,
like,
I
and all
don't
that
cook
shit.
for myself. That's too much self-care. I'm not cooking a keto meal. I will
You don't have
never
to.
cook. No, I don't do it.
You don't have to.
Right, because I can see. I'm one thing I'm good at is I'm not like, oh, I'm gonna make meals and get a cookbook. I will never take that much time to take care of myself.
You don't have to. Keto, you could walk across the street to a deli and buy a stick of Cracker Barrel and eat it
That's
like it's a
fucking
banana.
amazing. I'm going on it tonight. Can you go on and off it? Like,
No.
I'm joking.
Oh yeah. No, you should.
Can
Yeah,
I eat
you
a
have to-
stick of Cracker Barrel tonight and then eat carbs tomorrow and then eat Cracker
You'll-
Barrel tomorrow night? The audience has gone downhill.
No. But here's the thing: once you're in it, you're gonna crave the carbs less.
Have you
That's
always
the
been
thing.
into
You
eating
crave
a lot?
carbs because your body wants them for energy.
I understand that.
Yeah, and your body will switch and you won't crave it anymore. So you'll get like a hankering for a snack, and instead
love
of
that word.
wanting a Snickers bar, you'll be like, I'm going to eat some fucking ham or turkey, and you eat it, and you go, all right, I'm good.
That's good for me, actually, because of chicken. Like some of the people know, I'm obsessed with chicken.
You can
So
have
if
all
I
the chicken you want.
That's great. That's really
Skin
great.
and all.
Did you grow up with a food thing in your house? Like, was there any addiction stuff in your house?
My mom's 100% addicted to food. She's been
Okay.
overweight my whole life. I don't really think I'm outing anything here. She's pretty open. I mean,
She's a lesbian?
no.
Oh.
She's,
Maybe that's why she's so angry.
I don't think so. She's got cirrhosis from not eating right. She never drank ever, but she got
Really?
cirrhosis because she never ate right. And she's not ridiculously obese. Like if you saw her, you'd be like, no, that's just a lady that's like overweight, you know? But she had so many health issues over the years. Like she got diabetes, and then she
Wow.
needed like stents in her heart. Little things would happen here and there, and she kind of just kept waving her middle finger at them. And she has stage 4 cirrhosis
Oh, boy.
from not eating right. I told
That's very frustrating.
yeah.
So that's what you get frustrated with.
I get furious with her
I would too.
like at
That's-
Christmas I kept seeing her take cookies and
yeah,
shit, and I was like,
that's
stop
not
it.
easy. Yeah.
You
And
know?
what does she say when you say that?
she'll be like, I know what I'm doing. And I'll be like, no, you don't. And you've asked me my entire life to police you with this shit, and you call me for fucking pep talks when you
that's
feel
so
down.
hard.
And then when you don't want to hear it, you tell me to fucking get out of your face, and it's fucked up and it's manipulative. And then she'll go, I'm not manipulative. And I go, what you're doing right now, saying that is being fucking manipulative.
You're right.
And I start saying fuck like every other word because I know it bothers her.
Yeah.
And I start getting, it sounds like when I get in a fight with my mom, it sounds like Joe Pesci. I'm like, you motherfucking bullshit and your fucking diet and your fucking sweets. It literally sounds like Joe Pesci.
I so understand what you're saying. It
Yeah.
is manipulative, and it's very frustrating
Yeah.
to hook you in with the pep talks. And then this is very much addict stuff, though. People don't realize that food addiction is really bad.
I feel so
And it's
sorry for
so-
food addicts.
Well, it's the
I feel
worst.
sorry for you. It's terrible.
It's the worst. It really is, because it does make people fucking crazy. And it is something that, like, my whole family has had issues with. It has never been drugs and alcohol in my family. It's food.
It's a terrible. I feel sorry for all addicts. And I don't know if I'm a big believer in the allergy and all that bullshit, but like I just know that I do believe that certain people are addicts. And I feel sorry. I feel sorry for somebody who takes a drink of wine and then the next day they're laying next to railroad tracks.
Well, that's the allergy. I mean, meaning
know?
like once you put it in your body, you want more.
Right.
And you can't stop. And like, there's no point in me having one drink. It's ridiculous to me. I've never been like, I'm going to go have a drink.
I
It's
mean,
to do it to get annihilated.
I feel
to
that
end up on the street sucking dick. That's really the goal.
I feel that way too with it. But I also am able to stop. Like I'm much more addicted to the excitement of a night out.
Yeah.
But like I can stop. Like if we have 2 drinks and everybody's like, I'm going home, I'm not like, no, I can't go home. I have to go out by myself now, or I have to go home and drink more.
Right.
I'm just like, man, all right.
Do you think
You know.
that drinking or anything has ever made your, like, is anything ever made your life unmanageable? Because that's where you really kind of know you're an addict with something, if it makes your life unmanageable.
I don't.
And it could be a relationship. It could be gambling. It could be anything. But do you think that anything has ever made your life unmanageable?
I think substances, no. Okay, so I have 2 answers. Substances, no. Jeff Leach said to me once about sobriety, he goes, there was never really a major problem. I was just always operating at 70%. And I was like, that's how I feel when I'm in it for too long and I need to take a break. So I take a breather and I recharge and whatever. But the thing that did almost make my life unmanageable was my anger.
Yes.
I had too many people saying to me, you're the only person I fight with like this. And I was like, I got to get this in check. And I really, really had to work on it.
What
and
did you
it's
do to
still
work
in
on
there. Therapy. I went on Prozac for a long time. I started to learn and understand what toxic thoughts were. And to put my ego in check, that everything wasn't about me, to stop taking things personal. I mean, all the typical stuff. But, I mean, I used to really, it could have been about...
I remember that. I do.
Do you?
I mean, I remember knowing you that way, where you would, like, react a lot more and fly off. You're much calmer now.
I lost the beginning of the fixing was when I lost work over it.
Right.
I would have meltdowns on stage. And I would start saying things like, I hope you fucking get into a car accident tonight and choke
That
to death
happens
on your
to
own
me twice
blood
a
and
year,
shit like
where
that.
I
Like
have a
crazy.
complete nervous breakdown and then feel horrific afterward.
Yeah, Mike DiStefano before he died, we talked about it because he used to do that too. And he goes, you never feel good. And I was like, ugh, that just hit me so hard. And it was right when I had been banned from the Laugh Factory for flipping out on an audience. Now, granted, the audience was being insane.
Right.
And nobody was doing anything.
That's enraging when you're a comedian and you're on
Yeah.
stage and the staff's just standing there and people are screaming at you and throwing shit. It's why I stopped working at certain clubs. I won't do it anymore.
Yeah. So I've broken stuff. I broke my laptop recently.
What made you break? Not. I love that I'm saying what made you break. What bitch got you to that point?
What
I'm
did the laptop say to you
Yeah,
that made you hit it?
What the laptop told you to do it?
Yeah.
Break me.
No, it
what
was
got you so angry?
It'll come out in peak, like a little bit in peak, but now I realize immediately, oh fuck, shit, I shouldn't have done that. And it never comes out at people in the form of violence. It'll come out sometimes as screaming, but with objects once in a while. And I just moved back from LA to New York, and I don't know if you've ever moved from LA to New York. It costs like $78,000. It's so expensive. It's every dime you have.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel as a grown-up, male or female, if you don't have that kind of cash to throw around, it makes you feel like a fucking loser. Because you feel like you're not good enough and you didn't work hard enough, and all your bullshit starts coming up, and it's stressful, and you're moving your stuff across country, and that's a whole racket in and of itself. There have been a million exposés on 2020, but they have you by the balls. They have your stuff. They'll do whatever they want. It's infuriating. So anyway, I finally got settled, and I was trying to come out of the stress of all that. And my landlord sent me my rent deposit back from L.A., which was a few grand, and I needed it. I really needed it. And this lady wasn't the brightest bulb, and she sent the fucking thing where I had to sign for it. So it showed up, and I didn't get it because I wasn't there to sign for it. And I'm like, why did she fucking do that? And I was trying. Have you ever tried to locate a package at a post office in New York City? I mean, it's a fucking scavenger hunt. And I kept trying to secure the package at a location, and it kept re-putting my LA address back in, and it wouldn't stop doing that.
Oh, my God.
And I thought it was going to send it back to LA. And after like 90 minutes of this, like of going through it, getting the email, seeing the address change back to the LA address, going back in, changing over and over, this just loop, I just grabbed the laptop, the top of the screen, and I just fucking like jacked it, and immediately it just looked like a Jackson Pollock painting. It was just like, it's art now. It's just colors. That's all it is. You couldn't see anything. And I immediately realized, oh my God, like the screenplay I'm currently trying to sell and all of the notes are on there.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I fucked up. And I'm so lucky that I was able to do this. It had an HDMI out, and I was able to plug it into my TV and pull everything off of it.
Thank God. How did you feel after you did it, though?
I literally I felt so ashamed.
Yeah, I know. It's
that
horrible.
I sat there and I started going, why did you just do that? Why did you just do that? And I literally felt like I was going to cry for a second. And I remember I almost called my mom literally to be like, I'm so ashamed of myself. Like, what's wrong with me? But that passed after a couple minutes, and I was like, I just was like, okay, get your shit together. There's a way to fix this. Even if it costs you $600 to get the screen fixed, that will suck, but there's a way to fix this.
That's what therapy does for anyone listening to this podcast. Going to therapy is what helps you calm down and like see that it'll be okay no matter what. Because before I went to therapy, which was when I was 6, I've been in therapy so long, but it really does help you understand things better and like forgive yourself, and right? It helps. You're easier on yourself.
Well, what was your thing that you like? I mean, you've probably talked about it on here. It's your show, but I'm just curious. What was your thing like that? Like that was my thing, the anger stuff. What was your thing where you're like, I got to get this?
Oh, I'm enraged. I don't punch things, but I go very inward, and I can hurt I don't mean like cut myself, or I joke about that shit, but I take it out on myself, so I can be very angry at other people, but I hold it in, and I do very self-sabotaging things. And I'm working really hard on it right now because my career is really going well, and I'm like, Jessica, you've worked so hard, and just take care of yourself, and you deserve this, but it's a lot. Like, I'm going to therapy twice a week. I'm really trying to work on it.
Right.
But it's anger. And it's more, I don't know, it's shifted from a lot of anxiety to more being a little down now. But do you have more anxiety or depression?
I have both. I have both. Like, I was talking to the producer before the show, and she was asking me, like, well, what in this realm do you want to talk about or whatever? And it's like, I realized, this is crazy. So, not crazy, but when I left LA, when I first started, I was coming back and forth for like 6 months. And I was the happiest I'd ever been. I was like, this is so perfect. I'm leaving LA, and I go to New York now 2 weeks a month, and I feel so great, and everything is so great. And then as the actual move got closer, I was the angriest I've been in years, and I was just snapping at everything. And I was like, why am I can't, like, it was horrible. And then I got here and I got settled, and then I was like, okay, you have to start exercising, and you have to start, maybe you should drink less. And I started doing all this bartering. And I swear to God, I was watching Frasier. It's my favorite sitcom of all time. And they do an episode about Frasier losing his job and him going through the stages of grief. And I was like, and every act of the episode is a stage of the grief. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going through stages of grief. Like me leaving LA was a grief thing. Like I there's something in me that thinks it was a loss, whatever it is. And now I feel like I'm into the depression part of it, where I'm just kind of sad. And I know it'll pass.
You mean because you mean sad still from leaving there and being here, or just sad in general about?
I mean, look, you can't help. This business is so toxic.
It's so hard.
And life is toxic. You go on Instagram and you see all this bullshit people are posting. I mean, you look at a fucking plumber's Instagram posts and you're like, does this guy have $1 billion? Like, what's going on here? You know what I mean? Like, what did I do wrong?
Yeah.
You know, like, everybody's living hashtag their best life and all that fucking stupid
Which is not
shit.
real.
No.
You can't, I love this quote. You were not supposed to compare our insides to someone else's outside.
Right.
Which is really true.
It's very true, but easier said than done.
I think I said that the right way, or is that completely
No,
not?
you said it right.
Yeah, it's true. I don't compare myself a lot to people because I know it's bullshit.
I try not to.
It's hard.
But it's hard. And then, you know, so so the leaving of Los Angeles, which is the mecca of scum. Mm-hmm.
It really is.
It's
a big anus.
They can't have enough wildfires, as far as I'm concerned. I'm joking. I have friends that lost houses. I'm joking.
My wife and I started that by scissoring. All right.
No, I'm kidding about the wildfires. There are some really wonderful people out in Hollywood, and I've gotten to work with some of them.
There's some great people.
But there are a lot
it's really horrible.
of awful fucking people. Mm-hmm. And it's hard. I want nothing to do with that concept anymore. You know, I posted a thing the other day like, hey, if you're lucky enough to get money from these people, take it. Turn around, invest it into your own shit. Show them you'll use them, but you don't need them because they don't give a fuck about you.
They don't.
Warner Brothers just announced they're using an AI program to select which scripts are going to get made. That's fucking insane. So anyway, with as awful as it all is out there, it's hard to leave it and not on some level feel like you failed.
Of course.
So I think that's what I was going through. I went out there, and when I got out there, I hit the ground running. I wrote for 2 seasons on Pete Holmes' talk show. I got tons of shit on the air. I came right out of that and got Better Call Saul. And then right after that, I got Wet Hot American Summer. I was just fucking hitting shit. Boom, 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 boom. Then I got my special.
It's so hard when you get all those things and then it slowed down.
It was 3 years of that and then 3 years of absolutely
horrible.
Nothing.
It's so
Which is why
hard.
you start a podcast.
Well, you have to create stuff because
Yeah.
you either take action or what do you do? Or you just lay in bed. What else? You know, when you're not being creative, and you come from that, like all that work to nothing. It's really depressing.
Yeah, and then also too, when you leave that place, you see a lot of comedians at the very least out there that you admire. There are a lot of comics out there I really admire, and you go, well, they didn't leave, and they're not doing great. They're doing fine. Like, what am I doing wrong? Like, what did I do? Like, what? I know it's better for me here, though. I know that ultimately, but you still can't. It's like a divorce. You go, it was good for me, and I know it's right,
Absolutely.
but you still can't second guess it a little bit. So I went through those weird, like, grief stages of, like, this was a big part of your life, man, you know, and it's gone. And
Yeah.
honestly, I don't care if I ever go back. I don't want to go back.
It's really horrible there. It's
terrible.
I mean, when I go for a week, I'm like, I can't wait to get the fuck out of here. And people say to me all the time, why didn't you move to LA? It's like, I'm not going to go there and struggle when I can do kosher restaurants in New York and want to convert. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because here you can work a lot as a comic, whereas there it's not as easy. So it's more struggling, I feel like. And
That's why I left. I was like, you can't be proactive anymore. And you start to get ideas. You know, I said to Eddie Pepitone before I left, he goes, why are you leaving? I go, Eddie, how many times am I going to audition for Superstore from my living room? You know what I mean? I'm like, I can't fucking do this anymore.
That is hysterically funny.
And I go, and I never
put
get
an
it.
audition on tape.
Yeah.
I know. Oh my God, it's horrible.
And then you start coming up with all these TV, because you have nothing but time to think. And you're like, well, what if there was this is a good idea. Like a guy goes into a seminary, but he's a male prostitute, but he
so
actually
great.
finds God while he's in there, but he goes there because it's cheaper than college. Like you just start having all these fucking ideas. And then you're like, what am I doing? Like
I know. I call my manager once a week, and I'm like, I have an idea. And it's always crazy. Like the other day I called him because Tracy and I talked about me doing a special in a Jewish deli where people are online and not listening to me, because that's how I felt my whole life. No one in my family listened. So I was like, I'm just doing but it's so general. I mean, I can do
That's
something
great.
like that, but it's very Jewish. It's,
Yeah.
People hate Jews. So
That's a funny idea. though.
it is. It's a funny idea, but I mean, I feel like you
Wait,
have
at the
to
end of the
always-
special, can I just say this real quick?
Yeah.
You do the whole special in the deli, and then at the end,
I
you,
bomb the restaurant?
No, the Nazis come in. You find out it took place during World War II. And you get taken away like the end of Cabaret.
Yeah, get in the train. Yeah, that's a good idea. That is, and they take all my jewelry and art. And they
Please
tattoo
do
me.
that.
Yeah,
Please
that's
do
funny.
that.
And then they kill my children. That's hysterical. So,
Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
no,
sorry.
it's okay. It's fine. Thanks for bringing that up.
No.
I'm totally joking. I talk about the Holocaust every night on stage because it makes
Remember-
people so tense.
Remember on the Impractical, we were on the Impractical Jokers cruise.
Oh,
a bunch
the
of us were.
heckling.
It was so fun.
Were
But,
you there the night I was heckled?
Well, I was there the night.
This was unbelievable.
We were on the same show. So you guys know Impractical Jokers, right? It's the sweetest, friendliest, it's such a clean form of comedy. And the stand-up shows on the boats get...
There's a lot.
You can
like
curse
10
and
of
stuff.
us went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can
It's
curse and
great.
stuff, but like it's definitely much bluer than the show ever gets. And you went on stage like the first show, and you opened with, I come to Holocaust movies.
I did. What's wrong with me?
That's
I
what
don't
you
even- I-
opened with.
People always say, "Do you remember?" I black out. I don't even know what I say in every podcast. People are like, it was so funny when I'm like, I have no idea what I said. But I was heckled horribly.
What
Were
happened?
you there?
No. I just
I
saw that, and
said-
you were killing after that. And I was
I
like,
s-
that's admirable.
I said the way I felt. It was how I was describing how I felt like a child that had issue or something like that. And this woman yells out, "That's not funny. My child has issues." And I was not in the mood. And she kept screaming it out. And I went, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, my child has heart disease." Like I went crazy and started screaming at her and saying, "I've been through." But I mean, I made it funny. It doesn't sound funny, but I made it funny.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, my situation's worse because my child's had open heart surgeries. Yours just is a little off. I've been in hospital. I've seen babies die. Have you ever seen a baby? So I like lost my mind.
Right.
And the crowd was laughing. Believe it or not, it sounds so horrible. But then they clapped. They said, "Get the fuck out." They were all screaming at her to leave and like clapping. And because it was so, people choose what they want to hear.
Yeah.
And then they make it personal and they start yelling out. And it's like, we all have horrible situations. You know,
Yeah.
everyone has shit in their lives.
Yeah.
And when people start comparing and yelling out, but I've never felt as good as I felt that week on that Joker's cruise because I felt like an anorexic. It was, I said to Paul Verzi, went out of Tampa and we had been on the cruise for 3 days sailing. And I said, "Are we still in Tampa?" I don't even know if the boat has moved because everyone was heavy.
It was
It
yeah. The last day.
was amazing.
The last day, remember how rocky it was? And I
Yeah.
couldn't tell if we were in bad waters or if people were just moving around for the first time.
Everyone was on the left side of the ship. Yeah, it was. I have never. I walked around like I'm great. I look great. It was. We laughed
so funny.
so fucking hard, Paul Verzi and I, that day.
I had the best time on that cruise. We played craps every night.
Did you
in
get
the
laid?
No.
You're such a liar.
No, I'm not. No.
I know these
I made out
girls-
with one person for like 10 minutes. There
Wow.
wasn't. It was all couples. There was not. It
There
was
were
not
women from Tampa. One of them was hot, and she was very attracted to you. Remember those Tampa girls?
Yes.
But she was married.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not being coy. Nothing happened.
Yeah. No, I believe
Yeah,
you.
but like it was.
Did
There
something
was. There was.
happen?
It was just. There was nothing
Something
going on.
happen?
What?
Did something happen?
No. No, I would tell you.
I'm joking. Like
Yeah.
we're on a podcast. Can you imagine? Just wondering. Something happen? No, I love living through other people's lives who are like sleeping around with different people. It's very interesting to me because it's been so long.
I mean, I
since I've
don't
done
do it
that.
anymore though.
Really?
I don't. I date, and I go out, and I will.
Is dating hard? I feel like dating is horrible.
It's not great.
Where do you normally take someone to like? Where do you go? Do you go bowling still?
No. The other day I went on a date. We went to. We walked around Tompkins Square Park, and then we went to supper and got like an Italian.
Did you just
Dinner.
say we went to supper?
That's the name of the place.
Jesus, I was like,
Yeah.
you are not going to get laid if you call dinner supper.
No. It's called supper. It's an Italian restaurant.
Okay, I was like, can you imagine? We went to supper
Yeah.
and we had a nosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went to Shiva. There was plenty of food. No, we went to this place called Supper. We had like an Italian. It was like a cute,
You
and
think
then
you'll go out again?
and then we watched a movie at my house.
Oh, that's a good date.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
What movie? Wow,
I'm dead serious. No, I'm laughing as about The Exorcist Part 3.
that's incredible. I don't watch scary movies.
It's almost
ever.
all I watch.
I've never been on a roller coaster. I am so filled with fear. I cannot watch a scary movie.
They're my favorite things on
I can't
earth.
do it. I'm living a scary movie in my head.
They're one of my only escapes. Video games and horror movies are two of my only escapes from reality.
Yeah, I talked to my therapist about starting to do video games because I used to be very into them as a kid. So I think I'm going to get a portable one that I can bring on the road.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I think they help. They will push your rage buttons. Be careful.
I know. Well, I play Candy Crush, and I basically spend what I would make tonight doing shows on getting fucking stripes and those. It's so pathetic.
People
it really,
love
Well, every time I go into iTunes and buy a bundle, I want to kill myself.
What's a bundle?
It's you buy like all different things that you can do in the game, but it's never. It's like I'll buy an hour of free lives, but I'll go to sleep within 20 minutes. It's really upsetting.
Wow.
Yeah.
I won't play any game where you have to keep paying
Yeah.
to play. I just play stuff. I buy it once and that's it. We're done.
Yeah, I'm going to get a video game maker. Is that what it's called?
A maker?
I don't know. I'm
No.
just so
well,
sad.
a system?
So
Get a
system,
Nintendo
yeah.
Switch.
Okay,
and
is that the one I should get?
Yeah, get a Switch Lite, and it's only a handheld, and it's $200, and
I'm going to get
and
that.
you can download games right to it from
Will
the
you
Nintendo
tell me
store.
what games to get?
Yeah, you tell me what you like, and I can. I collect. Like I have a lot of video games and systems. All right. Well.
All right, no, I'm
Fuck
serious.
you.
I love you. Don't get hostile, please. Don't scream at me. Could you imagine at the end of this we get into a screaming fight?
I can't imagine fighting with you, but I feel like we're the personality types where if we hung out a lot, eventually we would have
Of course,
some
we would
kind
both
of.
get sensitive
we
with
would
each
have
other.
some kind of.
But we would be
But then
very
we'd be like, "I'm
close.
so sorry, I love you so much."
Right, because I think you're amazing. I'm gonna wrap it up, but I really love you. I always have.
Love you too.
I
Thank
know
you.
we have a very cool bond, and I just think you're hysterical, and you're such a good. I'd actually love to see you settle down with someone. Not yet, but I would love. Because you're doing work on yourself, so it takes a little time, and it seems like you. And I'm very impressed that you're doing the work, because a lot of people don't. So I have to give you credit for that.
I could be doing more, but it's
Well, the keto will help.
stair-stepping in. Yeah, the keto.
The keto will
the
cure
cheese help.
everything.
Thank you. I think equally as highly as of you.
Thank you.
The sentiment is mutual.
I know we
That's what I
we
wanted
get
to say.
along very well. I'm so grateful that you are here and and that you were so honest during the podcast.
I was thrilled to be asked to do it, and I was excited to do the live one. This is awesome.
Yeah, this is a
yeah.
big deal because it's packed and there's no seats available, and this
Yeah.
is. I want to say to the audience, thank you so much for coming. You guys give yourselves a hand. I really appreciate it. 'Cause you never know how many people are going to get to come
Right.
to these things.
No, Corinne Fisher and I do a Can I
Yeah,
plug this?
yes, I want you to talk about that.
So Corinne Fisher and I do a podcast here every Tuesday night at 9:30 p.m. The time might change, but check the website. But it's called Without a Country.
It's such a great idea.
And we take 5 news stories, and then we take how each story is covered by the most extreme conservative outlet and the most extreme liberal outlet, and then we try to find gray area sanity in between the two
Isn't that
stories.
great? I think it's such a good idea.
Thank you. It's been very fun. And it's fun reading the excerpts from each outlet because they're so funny.
I know.
Particularly the conservative ones have like they have like roast level jokes in them. Even if you don't agree
you don't
with
even
it.
have to think about. Yeah, it's
even
all
if you don't
right
agree with
there.
it, they're so funny. One of them called Greta Thunberg a damp squid.
Oh, that's
I was
incredible.
I was like, this is so fucking funny. But anyway, we do it here every week, and it's live every week.
At
and
the
then,
stand in New York City.
Yeah, right in this room. And then we do it the last 15 minutes. We do a town hall Q&A where the audience comes up and they can share their thoughts on the microphone with
so
anything
smart.
that happened, and it's very open. And we have everybody sign NDAs, and we never. Here's why: because we never are going to release the Q&A part. We want the audience to come in and feel safe, and truly safe, not this bullshit of
Yeah.
you won't hear these words. Safe. You can ask questions in here, and you can raise points, and nobody's going to jump down your throat. We want to hear what you have to say. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
So it's so far so good. It releases on iTunes and YouTube next week, episode 1. But we've been doing it for about 3 weeks now. Or we're going into the 3rd week next Tuesday. So.
And I love her so much. She just recorded my podcast, so her episode's going to be coming out very soon. She's so brilliant.
She's
and,
great.
Yeah.
And she's like us. Like it's very.
I know. She's family. I know. There's certain comics that are like that.
When I met Corinne, so Corinne co-hosts another show called Guys We Fucked.
It's a
that's very
huge
popular.
podcast. Huge.
And I never met her. And the first time I did it, I sat down. I literally met her as we were starting to record. And right out of the gate, she goes, "So you've like fucked a lot of female comics?" And I go, "Yeah." And she goes, "Well, what's up with that?" I go, "I work in the business. They're the only women I meet. I'm not an asshole about it. It's just who I
Right.
date." And she goes, "Oh, okay." And then we were friends after that. After that, she's like, "You called me on my shit. I love it. You're the best." And we were just like friends after that. It was just a very easy, fast friendship.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, she is.
She
She's
really
back
is.
there.
She's
right
in
now.
the room laughing in the back.
Yeah.
She's the only one you can hear laughing right now because it's about her. And she's great. She
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah,
Thank
she
God
is.
she took up a seat. So is that the only thing you want to plug, or do you want to plug your website or your Instagram?
Joe DeRosa info for all my tour dates. I got a bunch coming up,
Go see Joe. He's
including
so
in
funny.
New York, White Plains, and some nearby cities, Fairfield, Connecticut. Places that aren't too far where I'm headlining. But then I guess the other big plug is my new album. I Go to Atlanta All the Time is available to purchase on iTunes and Amazon.
That's such a great name.
We made up, but it came out of a fight Pete Dominic and I had on the air on his radio show.
That's hysterical.
And I was leaving the show to go to Atlanta to record. And I was very mad at him. And I was like, I'm going to call, because he yelled that at me. Because I said, he was saying Atlanta was liberal. And I was like, no, it's not. It's fucking, there's like a pocket. It's a fucking conservative city. And he yelled at me, I go to Atlanta all the time.
Oh, that's so funny.
So when I left I walked out of the show. We got in this huge fight. I was so mad at him. And I was sitting in the back of the Earl waiting to start the second show. And I was like, what am I going to call this record? Oh, that's what I'm going to call this record. I go to Atlanta all the time.
That's how complex it is. People overthink shit so much.
Yeah, but we've made up since. But it's so funny when we made up. I was like, Pete, I have to tell you, I called the record.
Pete's great.
But yeah, it's all good. He's a good dude. I
Yeah,
like
he
Pete.
really is. And
Yeah.
okay, so thank you so much. Thanks, guys. Give yourselves a hand. Thank you for
Thank
coming.
you. Thank you for having me. I love you.
Thank you. I love you too.